Marvel didn't strip Tom Holland of his multi-million-dollar Stark tech because it made sense for the narrative. They did it because they were terrified. Behind the massive box office predictions and the absolute frenzy for advance tickets, Spider-Man Brand New Day represents something much deeper than just another entry in Phase 6. It is a multi-million-dollar admission of guilt from Kevin Feige. For nearly a decade, Marvel operated under a singular, arrogant thesis: bigger is always better. More multiverses, higher stakes, cosmic entities, and 40 character crossovers. But with Brand New Day, the corporate machine has been forced to execute an emergency, screeching U-turn. To save their fading cinematic empire, Marvel finally realized they had to stop looking at the stars and start looking back at the streets. To understand why this corporate destruction of Peter Parker was completely necessary, we have to look back at the original sin of the MCU Spider-Man. When Tom Holland first swung into Captain America Civil War, he wasn't the broke, struggling kid from Queens we grew up reading in the comics. He was Tony Stark's highly funded intern. He had a billion-dollar AI built into his mask, nanotech armor that could survive space travel, and a corporate safety net that fixed every single one of his mistakes. He was, for all intents and purposes, Iron Man Jr. And for a long time, the audience ate it up. But as the MCU ballooned into an exhausting chore of interconnected homework assignments, a massive wave of spectacle fatigue set in. Audiences stopped caring about digital sky beams and multiversal variants. The internet started screaming for authenticity. We didn't want a Spider-Man fighting Thanos in space anymore. We wanted a kid who couldn't pay rent, struggling to survive in a gritty, practical New York City. That is why No Way Home ended the way it did. It wasn't just a tragic narrative choice, it was a structural demolition of the character's status quo. Marvel systematically stripped Peter Parker of his mentors, his tech, his best friend, his girlfriend, and his identity. They completely broke him. And look at the immediate dividend that destruction paid. The marketing for Brand New Day has driven the internet into an absolute meltdown, not because it promises a massive universe-shattering event, but because it promises a return to pure, unadulterated character study. We are seeing a Peter Parker 4 years later, totally isolated, wearing a hand-stitched cloth suit heavily inspired by the classic Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield eras. His web shooters are magnetized to the outside of his suit. He is acting like a street-level detective, tracking Mac Gargan's Scorpion through the underbelly of New York and going toe-to-toe with Jon Bernthal's brutal, uncompromising Punisher. But this is exactly where the commentary community is starting to sense a massive corporate trap. Because even though Marvel is desperately trying to sell us a grounded, gritty, back-to-basics story, the corporate machine literally cannot help itself from plugging in the broader cinematic universe. The official cast list includes Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, but more importantly, it features Stranger Things breakout Sadie Sink in a heavily guarded, top-secret role. And if you've been anywhere on the internet lately, you know the massive open secret that has the entire fandom completely fractured. The leaks and industry insiders are heavily backing the theory that Sadie Sink is playing none other than the MCU's core timeline, Jean Grey. Think about how insane that is from a commentary perspective. Fans are looking at the set leaks of her wearing green and yellow and reports that her character uses telepathic mind control to evade the Department of Damage Control, and they are drawing a massive line in the sand. On one hand, introducing Jean Grey here is a wild, fascinating choice. By making her a street-level mutant on the run from a paranoid government, Marvel is using Spider-Man's grounded reality to establish the high-stakes persecution of the upcoming mutant saga. It turns Peter Parker into a protector, grounding one of the most powerful cosmic entities in Marvel history in a human, sympathetic story before she ever touches the Phoenix Force or joins the X-Men. But on the other hand, the skeptical side of the community is calling massive foul. Why on earth are we introducing a premier top-tier X-Man in a Spider-Man movie, a project where Disney has to split the box office revenue with Sony? This is where the core friction of my critique lies. It exposes Marvel's deep-seated addiction to the hype cycle. Even when they claim they are giving us a standalone, low-stakes Spider-Man movie, they cannot resist the temptation to treat it as a massive multiversal launchpad for Avengers: Secret Wars. They are dangling the ultimate mutant carrot in front of our faces just to ensure the internet keeps talking. If you look closely at the trailers, Peter's powers are undergoing a strange, borderline body horror physical evolution, his eyes turning completely black as he loses control, and the sudden emergence of organic webbing. Marvel is playing a dangerous game here. They are trying to balance the psychological weight of a lonely adulthood and a grounded mutant refugee story with the massive, loud requirements of a blockbuster cinematic universe. And that brings us to the most cynical yet undeniable truth behind this entire movie. If Spider-Man: Brand New Day goes out and shatters box office records, it won't actually prove that Marvel is back. It will prove the exact opposite. It will prove that the broader MCU formula is broken and that Spider-Man is the absolute only bulletproof asset Sony and Disney have left. It proves that audiences are completely done with the corporate assembly line of interconnected hype trains. They just want a hero who bleeds, who fails, and who has to figure out how to survive when the rest of the world has completely forgotten he exists. Marvel had to destroy Tom Holland Spider-Man because he was the only character left with enough cultural weight to survive the crash. They had to burn down the high-tech empire they built around him just to show us the soul of the character underneath the armor. The real test isn't whether Peter Parker can survive the Punisher or the Scorpion or his own mutating powers. The real test is whether Marvel can resist the urge to rebuild the corporate cage they just let him escape from. However, despite all of that, I'm still super excited to see this film because I am obviously curious to see how they're going to execute it. Spider-Man is arguably the most popular superhero. He will forever be a box office draw. I obviously want this movie to do well, as I want more MCU Spider-Man and more Spider-Man lore in the MCU. Now, those are my thoughts, but now I want to know from you. Is this grounded, tech-free era Spider-Man exactly what the character needed? Is introducing Sadie Sink as Jean Grey a genius way to start the mutant saga? Or does adding an X-Men character completely ruin the street-level vibe Marvel promised us? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you want to see more, check out my thoughts on the final Spider-Man: Brand New Day trailer, or check out my review of Supergirl and why I thought it wasn't good. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.